Hi BookTube, Sheri here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my Harlequin anticipated reads for July of 2020. Yes, we're talking about books coming out in July. Very exciting. So, as I do these videos, I pick one book from the imprints that I tend to read every month and I share them with you. Now, what I would like you guys to do for me is to pick one of these books for me. The book that gets the most votes is the book I will actually read in July. I will add it to my TBR to read it in July, and yeah, super excited. Thank you guys every month for doing this and for indulging me in voting for a book. I think it's fantastic. As usual, I will leave the list of all the books below. But let's jump in and get started. So we'll start off with The Harlequin Desire. And that book is Wild Nashville Ways. And this is by Sheri WhiteFeather. This is book number 2 in the Daughters of Country series. So this is about a couple who are former couple, if you will. They used to date, and his career, like they're both country singers, I guess. And his career has kind of skyrocketed and hers has completely nosedived. And he is kind of wanting to help her out. So she's afraid, though, to let him help her with her career because of their history. If you guys didn't know, I am a huge country music fan. I absolutely love country music, and anything that has to do with Nashville or country music, I am right there for, and this one sounds fantastic. Next up, we have A Harlequin Heartwarming, and this is Her Surprise Engagement by Cari, Lynn, Webb. Book number 6 in the City by the Bay stories. As I always like to say in these, I do not really think you need to read a lot of these in order, but this one sounds delightful. So it's about a woman by the name of Nicole who has created an app, and I'm not too sure exactly what that app does, but she has enlisted the help of her old friend who's a quarterback, a pro quarterback. And they decide to have an engagement of convenience, not a marriage of convenience, but an engagement of convenience, because she's trying to get some executives, to help finance her app. And I guess they want someone who is, a family person, kind of an idea. So he agrees to help her by pretending to be her fiance, and in return, she's helping him with his image, within the NFL, I suppose. Sounds really cute. I love a marriage of convenience or an engagement of convenience story, and this one just looks delightful. Next up, we have a Harlequin historical, and this is The Flapper's Baby Scandal by Lauri Robinson. Book number 2 in the Sisters of the Roaring Twenties series. A couple months ago, you guys voted, and I read the first book in this series, and I flippin' loved it. It was fantastic. There's something about the time period of the Roaring Twenties that just makes me super happy. And this is the second book in the series. So there will be 3 in total. This is the next sister. So each one is about a different sister. And in this one, our main character's name is Betty. And she is engaged to be married to a man that her father has deemed this is who you're going to marry, kind of an idea. So she and her sisters end up going to the speakeasies at night. Like, they sneak out of the house and they get all dolled up and they go to these places, and she meets this man who's actually an FBI agent, and he's searching for some sort of a criminal. And she knows she's about to get married, so she decides to throw caution to the wind and, hooks up with him essentially for one night. And of course, as these things always play out, she ends up getting pregnant, and the story's going to go from there. Again, the Roaring Twenties is a time period I absolutely love, and Lauri Robinson is a go-to historical author for me. She writes fantastic. She writes in a lot of different time periods, and her books are always an absolute delight. Next up, we have a Harlequin intrigue novel, and this one is Witness on the Run by Cassie Miles. What sold me on this book was purely the location. Also, the author is fantastic. Cassie Miles writes some great intrigue books, but this book takes place in New Orleans, and yeah, there are a few locations that are like catnip to me, and if something's set there, I need to read it, and this one is no different. I love New Orleans. I don't know what it is about that city. I want to go there so badly, but for now, I will travel there through books. So this one is about a woman who is nearly abducted during a big celebration in New Orleans, and she doesn't know who to trust. So she turns to a private investigator to help her find out who is after her. And that's pretty much the entire bulk of the story, is the two of them, being chased through New Orleans while people are after her, and they're trying to find out why. And it sounds amazing, and this cover is amazing. It took me a few seconds looking at the cover to realize that, like, the fabric behind her is actually in the shape of a skull. Isn't that neat? I kind of love it. So yeah, this one is super intriguing to me, and I cannot wait to read it. Next up, we have a Harlequin romance, and this is Cinderella's New York Fling by Cara Colter. This is book number 1 in a fairy tale summer series. So this is essentially a fish out of water type story. You know, girl comes from small town America to big city Manhattan. She gets her dream job, and her boss is notoriously demanding. He, you know, is kind of trying to help her out, you know, navigating the big city. And there's, of course, going to be a romance between the two of them. So, yeah, this one sounds really cute. I have, you know, I've been pretty pleased with most of this author's previous novels. I did look, and this one doesn't have the best ratings right now on Goodreads, but I'm willing to give it a shot regardless, because I do love that fish out of water kind of, you know, plot line, you know, and I'd love to see this, you know, girl from this small town navigate the big city. I think that that would be actually just as much fun as reading about the romance. So yeah, this is definitely one I'm going to need to check out. Next up, we have a Harlequin romantic suspense, and this is In the Rancher's Protection by Beth Cornelison, excuse me. This is book number 5 in the McCall Adventure Ranch series. So this is about a woman who is on the run from her abusive ex, and she takes some refuge at the, what is it called? The Double M Ranch, and there she forms a friendship with a ranch hand. He has his own tragic past, and he's trying to help her out, and I guess while the two of them are out somewhere, they get stuck on a mountainside with her ex gunning for them, essentially. Sounds really good, really suspenseful, and yeah, this is definitely one that I'd be totally interested in reading. Next up, we have a Harlequin special edition novel, and this one I'm really excited about because it's by one of my favorite authors, and this is More Than Neighbors by Shannon Stacey. This is book number 1 in the Blackberry Bay series. So instead of me trying to give you a little plot summary, I cannot say that word here, I'm just going to read this little bit from the back of the book because it made me fall in love with this story so much. So it says, Cam is in Blackberry Bay to unravel a family secret. Meredith has moved next door with her daughter. He's unattached. She's a widowed single mom. He's owned by a cat. She's definitely Team Canine. All these neighbors have in common is a property line. And Cam thought he knew what he wanted until his family's secret changes everything. Yes, please. This sounds so fantastic. I cannot wait to read it. Again, Shannon Stacey is a great author. If you guys have not checked out her work, you need to. The Kowalski Family series is one of my absolute favorite contemporary romance series. It's a bit older, but it's absolutely delightful. I think they're all available as part of the Audible Escape package. Totally check it out, and I'm really, really looking forward to this book. Next up, we have a love-inspired novel, and this is, of course, faith-based fiction. It's a Christian fiction novel. The Cowboys' Missing Memory by Shannon Taylor Vannatter. And this is book number 2 in the Hill Country Cowboy series. And this is about a man who is a rodeo star, and in a bull riding accident, he lost his memory, like 2 years worth of his memory. So he's working with a, what is she? An occupational therapist to, I guess, help him gain back his memory. And the two of them kind of start a little bit of a relationship, but she doesn't feel absolutely comfortable with that, A, because she's working with him, and he's in a way a client or what have you. And also she knows that once he's better, he's going to be going back to bull riding. And that terrifies her because it nearly got him killed the first time. So I'm interested to see where this story would play out. It sounds really interesting. There's something about amnesia stories that also really intrigue me. And this one sounds like a lot of fun. And last but not least, we have a love-inspired suspense novel, and this is Following the Evidence by Lynn Shannon. This is about a woman who inherits a ranch, and she moves to the ranch with her young daughter and her search and rescue dog. And everything seems to be going pretty good for her until someone tries to kill her. So her ex-boyfriend, who is now the sheriff, the local sheriff in town, of course, he is there to help her out. And of course there's going to be a romance, trying to find out who's after her. Typical with these kind of suspenseful stories, but it still sounds like a lot of fun. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please, again, let me know in the comments below which book do you think I should put on my TBR for the month of July. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.